नमस्कार, वेलकम टू कॉमन इंडियन वॉइस। आज हम लोग फिर से आपके सामने हैं। आप लोगों को तो पता है दिन में एक बार तो आते ही है। आज हमारे साथ दो न्यू स्पीकर्स हैं। वन इज जयप्रकाश, जिनको हम लोग जेपी बोलते हैं। सेकंड इज गौरव महाजन। जयप्रकाश इज फ्रॉम कैलकाटा एंड गौरव महाजन इज फ्रॉम डलहौजी। Gaurav is also a budding author. He has written a few books. I am sure he's going to speak about it. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. So, my first question to you, Gaurav. Gaurav, I have read one of your books. Baki, I am sorry, मैंने अभी तक खरीदा नहीं है. I'm going to do it very soon. Can you just tell the names of your books for our viewers?
Ma'am, the first book which I wrote was 11 Milestones. It's a collection of short stories. They're experiences from my life, because I believe there are no, what they say, no setbacks in life. There are only lessons. So there are 11 lessons which sort of molded my way, my life's journey, ma'am. The second book is called Through the Turbulent Skies, ma'am. Ma'am, because you know me personally, and you know that what happens is, like, every person has a certain set of rules, a certain set of aspirations according to which they want to live their life. I was also living the same life, but in that book I wanted to tell that not all opportunities bring you happiness. It is not important that everything which seems like an opportunity to you and is going to bring you happiness, it's not going to happen always like that. The second book is a story of a man who feels that opportunity has come his way, but actually in disguise it is more of a pain against the system, against judiciary, against political nexus. So it's a story about that and how he comes out of it, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, JP, एक मैं पूछ रही हूँ, आज तो लेटेस्ट न्यूज है कि बाबुल सुप्रियो ने has jumped the ship. So
yeah, it was very much reciprocated.
Yeah.
As he resigned and he was not taken into the ministry, we were expecting this somewhat to happen, because the person was not that easy to give up BJP. Giving up BJP means he wanted to change the votes. That is somewhat was very much expected. Very much expected.
So it is actually means I think this question can be taken by either of you कि आज you know political एक हर जगह पे upheaval दिख रहा है. पंजाब में अमरिंदर सिंह जी ने resign कर दिया, बाबुल सुप्रियो has jumped ship, and पता नहीं ये सारे turbulence elections के सामने हो ही रहे हैं. And elections आपके यहाँ पे तो election हो चुका है भी. आपको क्या लगता है दोनों में similarity है क्या कोई?
Politics of opportunism hai, ma'am. This is just basic, nothing else. Political aspirations are there. People are looking for opportunities. And if Babu Supriyo thinks he going to TMC, he can do better than what he was doing in BJP, he can always jump the guns. And Captain Amrinder Singh, there was a turbulence for quite some time. And I personally feel my analysis is, I think Gaurav Bhai would agree that Sidhu was a placement by the central to displace captain. This is what I feel. My analysis says that.
Yes, Gaurav.
I personally feel this.
Gaurav, आपको क्या लगता है? Do you agree? Do you agree to JP?
Ma'am, politics is one thing which I believe it goes above my head. Not trying to be politically correct, but definitely, ma'am, you see, like the way statements were coming from Mr. Navjot Singh Sidhu about the government, his own government, it was on the cards. I believe that the government the Congress had to do something, and I believe they have played their cards, their money on the a young man rather than going along with Captain Amrinder. I believe it's something to do with that, ma'am. Second, on Mr. Babul Supriyo's side, yes, again, as sir said, that it's politics opportunity. What they say, favoritism, right? So what he wanted from the government, maybe the BJP government, he could not get it. So he thought it is better to switch sides. Might be he gets more benefits on the other side, ma'am.
True. Acha, now I will just go away from politics a little bit, and
Yeah,
I
ma'am.
want to ask you कि जैसे हम देखते हैं ना, means basically because of teachers we come across students and we have to deal with a lot of things. बच्चों का बहुत सारा चीजें, but then atmosphere is changing and JP is also a father, so he will also understand. What exactly would you like to tell the kids, who are in 8th, 9th, 10th? उन लोगों को, they go through a lot of things. They are not able to deal with it. How do they deal with a problem when it comes before them? What advice will you give them?
Ma'am, actually, like you see, we have seen the transformation happening in front of us, ma'am. We are more onto gadgets, ma'am, right? Because I was sharing a story today that when I was a student, maybe I was not a very confident student when when it come down to speaking or writing, but it transformed me because when I was in my college, ma'am, my uncle, he was working as a professor in a university. He had morning classes. So morning 5 o'clock we used to get up. He used to leave the home at around 6. I was left all alone doing nothing. So only thing which I had with me was a Times of India, Hindustan Times, and Economic Times. And just to kill
Correct.
my time, I started reading them, ma'am. I
Newspapers,
believe, ma'am,
correct.
and that turned as a blessing, sir, because what happened was with that reading automatically, I started learning more, gaining more. I switch on news channel because it's a habit. It's not for something like I'm preparing for an exam. I want to go through editorials because not because I have to appear for an exam, but I just want to see the perception. I want to open myself to more opinions. But I believe this is something which is lacking in today's generation. I don't know how we are going to get going. We are going to bring them back to reading and taking them away from the screen. This is only I fuel to that fire because today without gadgets, classes are not possible. So I believe whatever we wanted to take away from them, we are bringing it closer. I believe, ma'am. This is what is happening.
JP,
Basically,
huh?
Gaurav, there is something more happening. Actually, what is happening? The less of opportunities is not the actual criteria. The criteria is we are saving our problems by giving them gadgets.
I agree.
We give
Maybe,
them
yes.
gadgets. We give them gadgets. So, okay, let
Sure.
them get involved so that we can do what we are involved into.
Yes, absolutely
So
right.
now what happens? Now these people, now they have got that addiction.
Sure.
The addiction. Now this addiction
Yes,
is changing into habit. And now what we all did, we went into newspapers, we went into things. These people, they are not into reading anymore. They are always Googling it out rather than using their own brains. Everything and anything on Google. You ask them to solve anything, they have no solution. They catch hold of their phone and they Google it out. And then they will argue. And then they will argue and they will counter you without any reason. Why? Because Google has said so, then you are wrong. Google is right.
Yes.
JP, I think Gaurav will agree with what I am going to say. Is that I find that logic somewhere along the line, logic बच्चों में से ना चला जा रहा है. It's actually they don't just want to. You ask them a very simple question. मैंने जैसे पहले भी बोला था, I asked them a very very stupid question. I knew the question was wrong, and I knew it was stupid, but still I asked them. भाई रिएक्शन क्या मिलता है उसको देखने के लिए. आई सेड ये प्लेटो रीजन से नदियां ऊपर की तरफ नॉर्थ इंडिया में कैसे जाती है. नॉट अ सिंगल चाइल्ड सेड मैम प्लेटो तो हाईलैंड है. तो मतलब मेरा कहना क्या है ना कि वेयर आर आवर चिल्ड्रन गोइंग. हमारे बच्चे जा कहाँ रहे.
I'm telling you, logics are lacking.
why exactly is this happening? Google is there, I understand, but what else is responsible?
They are not reading, ma'am. They are not reading at all. They are not reading at all. They are not reading, nor they are going through diagrams, which we used to go through. We used to buy those maps, you remember?
Yeah.
We used to run for those maps, plateau maps, area maps. What's a peninsula? What's this? They will tell you what the bookish language they have been taught with. But you ask them to draw something, they'll go blank. They'll totally go blank.
Yeah. Gaurav, I think even you face this problem कि बच्चों में लॉजिक की कहीं पे कमी रह जाती है. How do you deal with that?
Ma'am, you see, because as I said in my previous statement also, ki, like, and as Mr. JP is also saying it, ki, ma'am, till the time they start reading, they start exploring, ma'am. You see, ma'am, education system, because I was reading one of the message which someone had posted today. He said education is about what they're making us read in the school books. It is confined to that, ma'am, right? If, like we have discussed this when you were in school, if history is being taught that this is the 3 syllabuses, like we have to study about Panipat battles, we have to study about Mughal era, we are being taught what our books are teaching us, ma'am. There are many aspects of life, I believe, which are not being discussed, which should be discussed in classrooms, which should be discussed at different levels, ma'am. And till the time they start reading it, for me, this thing kicked in when I was in my college. Before that, as I said, ma'am, when I look at my life, at first 16 years of my life, maybe I was as they are, like, I was confined to those little things. But reading sort of opened my mind, ma'am. And till the time mind doesn't open, the parachutes are not going to work, ma'am. So reading is a solution, ma'am. Right? And
reading, Gaurav, along with reading, Gaurav bhai, we need to actually put them to group discussions also. Actually, what we are doing today, we are just doing data feeding. Data feeding, sir. What we want them to write, what we want them to learn, and put them on papers to pass on to their exams. Right, basically, till they have group discussions, they read, they counter each other, they won't learn. These experiences come because we used to discuss. We never had gadgets, no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
We never had gadgets.
Sir.
But we had logicals. We had the only thing we had when we were discussing today, even when we are discussing here, we have logics.
Yes. Yes.
But they will stay adamant without logics.
Yes. And sir, that again, because you see, these discussions will only come when they read different points of view. They listen to different points of view. As you said, in discussions, different point of view will come. The acceptance will come that they can be counter argued, that their thinking can be counter argued, and that will only open them up, sir.
That is what I'm saying. That group discussions with some seniors sitting around there, listening to them, correcting them, being a part of their discussions.
Yes.
Being a child with them. Till that these things happen, you cannot correct them. They will start correcting you.
Sorry, this brings me back to the present day thing. Just now I was watching Z News, and the Congress speaker was going ballistic. He was literally getting very, very angry. And why was he getting angry? Obviously, because he was being asked harsh questions. See, now, ये जो हम लोग डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं, हम लोग ये डिस्कशन में हम यही बोल रहे हैं ना, फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच समवेयर, लॉजिक एंड एक्सेप्टिंग अदर्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. ये आप दोनों ने बोला, मैं 100% अग्री करती हूँ. आज आप देखिए कि हम लोगों के अंदर ना टॉलरेंस बहुत कम हो गया है. टॉलरेंस बिल्कुल नहीं है. जैसे अगर गौरव को मेरी बात नहीं अच्छा लगता या जेपी को मेरी बात अच्छा नहीं लगता, आई विल स्टार्ट इग्नोरिंग देम. एंड मतलब हम सबका ये एटीट्यूड हो गया है, इट्स माय वे और द हाईवे. तो बच्चे जब ये सब देखते हैं तो उनके माइंड पे भी तो इफेक्ट होता है, एंड उनको भी ये लगता है कि जिनको वो फॉलो कर रहे हैं, लेट्स से गौरव को फॉलो कर रहे हैं, तो गौरव जो बात बोलेंगे उसको तो वो लोग मान लेंगे, मगर अगर उसको मैंने कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट किया तो बच्चे उतने ओपन नहीं है कि बैठ के बोलेंगे ओके फाइन हम इनका भी बात सुन ले। एंड हम जब देखते हैं, या तो ट्विटर पे देख लीजिए, ऑल द एसएम प्लेटफॉर्म्स, आप देखो, द मोमेंट यू से समथिंग व्हिच दे डोंट अग्री टू, दे स्टार्ट बिकमिंग अब्यूजिव, गाली गलौज पे उतर आ जाते हैं, मगर ये नहीं बोलते कि लेट्स डिबेट, ये नहीं बोलते कि आपके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आप बोलिए, मेरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। तो आपको क्या लगता है ये सिचुएशन किसके लिए है? व्हाई हैज दिस this has become a center stage हमारे इंडिया में?
Ma'am, when you don't have enough arguments to counter the truth, the first ammunition or the first which you have is getting angry or dethroning the debate. Either you debate or you derail. You start doing that. That's the only way they can run away from that debates. I don't have enough points to fight or to defend myself. So what I can do, either I get arrogant or I start derailing you. I will start derailing the discussions. Today, if I ask you, what are you eating? Maybe you are not eating anything. But when I ask you again, why? You say, oh, come on here. Who are you to ask me?
Exactly.
I'm not here to answer you what I'm supposed to eat. And this is because we need to know simple logics with children. What happens with them? These are things we facing on day-to-day basis that are normal domestic life also. What political people, so they are always there to defend the defenseless. That is what they are made for. Spokesperson are made for what? Defending the defenseless. That is why they come on there.
Absolutely. Gaurav, what do you think? Means ये क्यों हो रहा है? Intolerance तो actually ये है. We hear a lot of talk about intolerance, but isn't this intolerance that I won't even listen to your point of view? I won't even ask you, why did you make a statement? I will not allow you to explain yourself, but I will, straight on crucify you, label you, and make you an outcast. Why? Why is this happening?
Ma'am, you see, as sir said very clearly, what happens is, ma'am, we learn from what we are seeing. And you also gave the example when you started it that you were watching a news channel and what you saw was that a particular spokesman for a particular party, he started, when he was asked difficult questions, his response was that, this is the way out. Ma'am, I believe this is becoming the new norm, that whenever you feel like you don't have arguments, and as sir has put beautifully, I can't explain it better than him, that anger,
Come on, you
raising
can
your
do that.
voice,
Look at that. Yes.
raising your voice is like this is one means, like if I speak louder, maybe, but slowly and steadily, ma'am, when the maturity sets in, people realize that because when we look at our journey of life, because as you are elder to me, you have seen life from a broader perspective maybe, but when you look at some years back, you will realize that there were times when we were also childish. There are many decisions which you feel now if I had to take the same decision, I would take it differently, I would handle a situation differently. I believe, ma'am, some things come with time. Some people learn early and for some it is difficult, but no doubt, ma'am, whatever we are watching on news channels, the way they are debating, the way they are putting forward the arguments, ma'am, that is also a teaching going on, ma'am. We learn from them, like this is also another way of putting forward your points, and especially on issues which can get difficult, whether it is politics or religion, ma'am, people do get onto these things, I believe, ma'am. The only way out is let them sink in, give them time, give them space. And again, the bottom line is that they have to learn to be empathetic, ma'am. Somewhere around maybe years down the line, they will come back and regret what mistakes have been made, as we do, ma'am, in many of our decisions, ma'am.
Yeah, I agree to you that we also made wrong decisions. That's a part of growing
Yes.
up. I agree to that.
Yes.
But we were not impolite. we would regularly be thrashed. I know that. एक बदतमीजी की तो गाल पे जोर से झन्नाटे दांत पड़ जाती थी. हम लोग वो क्रॉस नहीं करते थे, वो लाइन नहीं क्रॉस करते थे. गुस्सा भी आता था अगर किसी के पॉइंट से हमको अच्छा भी नहीं लगता था, तो वी वुड ग्रम्बल विद इन, मगर हिम्मत नहीं होती थी कि किसी से बदतमीजी करें. मगर आज मैं देखती हूँ रेगुलर बदतमीजी करते हैं. तो एज अ टीचर हाउ विल यू टेल देम कि भाई सबकी सुनो तो सही, have the patience to listen.
Ma'am, you both are teachers. There was one proverb I think you all have taught, I think, to thousands of children. Instead of raising your voice, improve your arguments. And when you don't have arguments, the basic thing is you raise your voice.
Absolutely.
I think you both must have taught to thousands of children.
Yeah. Exactly.
So this is one basic which answers all our queries.
Yes, absolutely.
It answers everything.
True, sir. True.
So Gaurav, how will you tell them that be open to what the other person says? How do you go about doing that?
Ma'am, actually, if I have encountered problems, which I have definitely encountered, ma'am, I have tried my best to give my own personal examples, because you see, wherever I feel they are wrong, because ma'am, as I said before, we also have mistakes. So ultimately, I try to tell them that the way they are, we are also humans. We also have done same mistakes. But yes, this has been our response to it, ma'am. Right? This has been our response, ma'am. Second thing is that we have to lead by example. There are many at times you get angry, but you have to sort of drink that anger, and you have to set an example for them, ma'am. Because you only hope that they learn, because this is your wish, obviously, that you want each and every child to grow up in the best possible way. They should learn the best of etiquette. They should learn the best of things. But no doubt, ma'am, in your teaching career, in my small teaching career, we all have faced students who are sometimes, tough to handle. But ma'am, only hope is that you set a good example. You try to assert that you have to prove them with your own, because if I tell them don't get angry, and I'm getting angry at small things, I'm not setting a good example, ma'am. So ultimately, at the end of the day, we have to be role models. It's hard to be, ma'am, but yes, you are being watched by 40 eyes, 40 pairs of eyes, and you are being judged, and you have to only teach by example, ma'am. That's the only way out, I believe. Rest, you both are better minds out there, I think so.
No,
I'll
nothing
be
of that sort.
No.
You have JP.
You have a very good.
I will just tell you one thing about Gaurav, JP. He is one of those teachers in the very rare among the teachers who is universally accepted by the students. And in fact, I would sometimes scold him, "Okay, Gaurav, you are a teacher. You have to maintain a distance."
Yes.
You have to maintain a distance. And he would never listen. He would get into trouble. I'll tell you one incident.
But
I will share one incident with you.
This person, Gaurav, has got such a smiling face. He would accept everything and anything, knowingly or unknowingly, that the guy or that student is lying him. He will accept that with the smiling face, giving him that opportunity or that benefit of doubt. Okay, he may next time confess himself. That's what I feel looking at him.
Okay, I'll tell you one incident. The last year of my job, the year I retired,
Sir, thank you.
One day, I was in the class and Gaurav came and he said, "Ma'am, please, will you come with me to Principal Sir's office?" I said, "Why? What did you do now?" My query was immediately, "What did you do now?" He said, "I asked a child to bring something to eat and he brought it, and sir came after. Principal Sir was coming behind him. So the child got scared and he left it in the washroom and he ran away from there. And now the child has been called and what do I do?" And I was like, "Gaurav, when will you grow up?" And I actually went up to Principal Sir's office and Gaurav did not come. He did not come with me. He pushed me inside. I went and I said, "Sir, what is wrong?" And he had that paper. Sir had that paper with kachori and everything on top of his table. And Sir said, "Where is Gaurav?" I said, "Sir, what happened?" He said, "I know you came because of him. And, he has started doing this." I said, sir, it was the child actually. Gaurav was pulling his leg. We do pull the students' legs in the class, and the child went on to do it. And sir was glaring at me, and he said, "ये paper लेके जाइए और गौरव को बोलिए ये पूरा खाने के लिए." And I was like, "Sir, washroom के floor पे था ना वो." And I came out. I said, "Gaurav, sir is calling you." He ran away from there. ये Gaurav है, and kids, they love him for that. They actually love him for all this.
I told what. See, I've met him for the first time here, but the appearance he has, I can tell you that this is what he is.
Sir.
Actually, what I feel today in the morning, I was watching a video, Gaurav.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, very much audible. In the morning, I was watching a
okay,
video.
So please you finish it.
I was watching a video while driving. So they said, if you want people to follow you or to be on the right side, use 3S. What was the 3S? Ask them to slow down, silence, smile.
Sir.
If these three things you can induce into a child, believe me,
yes,
they will listen to us.
I'm sure, sir. I'm sure.
Well said.
Very well said. No
Then
doubt.
Gaurav will tell you, I am one person who never smiled in the class.
Sir, actually, I believe there is no harm breaking rules which are only for naughtiness, sir. So school had a rule that eatables are not allowed, sir. So I don't know. I have broken that rule many times and I still break it, sir. Well, I am admitting it on a video platform.
No, we used to break it. Lunch was to be. Everybody is allowed to have lunch in lunchtime. No?
Sir.
But as the bell rang, the first thing we used to do is to go rush out to play.
Sir.
And after that, the next period, the teacher used to teach and we used to have our lunch from under the table.
Sir. So same thing I do it. So, but I am doing it as a teacher.
He's doing it as a teacher. And Gaurav, I am no longer there to save you from sir. Who saves you now?
I think now he can take on. Now he can take on.
I have admitted it publicly now. If sir sees the video, I'm sure he knows who is the culprit now next time. So he doesn't need to ask anyone who did it.
Okay, jokes apart. The next question I want to ask you, Gaurav, in your first book, you write about the lessons you learned. Which lesson do you think was the toughest? And how did you overcome the hurdle, whichever it was?
Ma'am, actually, this was a story about a friend, ma'am, one of my college friends. And the story was that he belonged to a good family. When I say good family, means a financially good family. And ma'am, he had a destination marriage in Goa. That was also my first trip in a plane. So what happened, I had my jitters while, going through that. 3 days I stayed in a good resort, enjoyed the party, had fun. He came to Dalhousie. As you know, ma'am, Dalhousie is a hill station. After that, everything was going on smoothly, ma'am. But and he was all on Facebook. His first trips to Australia and New Zealand. He was going all places, ma'am. And people like me would think that yaar aaj kahan pe hai, aaj kahan pe hai. He was traveling everywhere, ma'am. When he gave a good news that he's going to be a father, it was like that. Okay, things will settle down even better now, ma'am. At the time of his children's birth, my bhabhi, she went into coma, and ma'am, 12 days later she lost her life, ma'am. That was the thing when I felt ki life is very fickle. You cannot take life for granted. Everything which seemed good to him, it was like that ki everything with him is fantastic. He's on cloud 9. Everything is good. All of a sudden life gives you a shock and it turns upside down, ma'am. So you cannot take things for granted. So I think so that changed me, ma'am, because I now live in the present. I definitely I'm conscious about my future, but ma'am, it is more like I can't take life for granted, ma'am. It is a blessing from God, and I believe everyone should treasure it. We are very lucky that we are healthy, we are safe, whatever, ma'am. But because that changed me completely, ma'am.
That's horrifying, Anthem. It's very, very sad. JP, what will you, it's your last words, you have had a very challenging time right now. So what is it that makes you go on? What will you tell the viewers if kids are watching? How will you tell them to hold on?
Very difficult task here. It's very difficult to go on. It's basically what you learn from them. What we learned from our parents. If today they would not have held what when they lost what they had behind their back, then we were nothing. We would be nothing. So it's our turn to fit in their roles or their shoes. Roles have changed actually. So now either you climb one step forward at the top or you remain where you are. There is always a role reversal in life. Either you take it or you leave it. But nothing stops. Nothing stops.
So what will you tell the kids? This is just the beginning. Nah? For the school children, at least it is just the beginning. They don't even know what is going to hit them when they come into real life. So what will your advice be? And then Gaurav, I want you to answer the same question after JP has completed. Yes, JP?
Ma'am.
See, we can't teach them.
We can try.
We can show them. You cannot teach anyone. This is what I have always believed. Show them the way. The things which they learn from themselves will be much better than what we taught them. Absolutely. What we can teach them is what is right and what is wrong. Nothing more. Make sure whatever you have taught, they must have, if they were good enough, they must have taken two things from you. Ma'am said, this is right, this is wrong. So I have to choose in between two. There is no third miracle options. So all children have to learn from this. Either you are right, either you are wrong. Either you learn or you leave. You learn and you walk forward. That's all. Only that will make a difference. We can't teach them or guide them. Today's world doesn't allow us to guide them. Put them on a pathway. These are the two paths. Choose yours.
Burn your own bridges.
Make your own bridges and walk on them.
Sure. Yes, Gaurav, what would you like to say?
Beautifully said, sir. Beautifully.
So, Gaurav, your take?
Ma'am, my turn.
Yes.
Ma'am, actually, sir has put in such beautiful words. I'll just only carry forward what he has said. You see, ma'am, this is if you remember the lab where we sit, the computer lab, there are glasses around it, ma'am. And there's a beautiful mountain which you can see from that. Ma'am, because this is the same example which I give to my kids. I can tell you where to see. But what you have to see is your choice, ma'am. Because as sir said, that today's world is such, ma'am, that you cannot tell them. And every time you say something, they have a Google to check it out, what you have said. So what you're imparting to them, they already have access to it, ma'am. Ultimately, they have to be taught only one thing, that how you, because of the parameters, because what you said that they should know what is difference between right and wrong, and everyone's parameter of judging that right and wrong is different, sir. Sir, because in one of the, because I'll just take 2 minutes, ma'am. In the book, I also wrote a story, sir, that when I was in my class 6th, so the place where I'm sitting right now is my grandfather's shop. He's no longer with us, so my father runs it now. Next to it, there is a small place, sir, which is sort of, which is uh, sort of isolated. So what my grandfather used to smoke, sir. So what I did along with my younger brother, I was in class 6, sir. We took his pack of cigarettes and I took the matchbox and we tried to sort of smoke like him, thinking that वो धुआं निकालेंगे, छल्ले बनाएंगे, we'll smoke. And we were caught, sir. I went back home and my mother is someone who is very short tempered. I could still expect my father to lend me an ear, but I knew when my mother comes to know about it, she will slap me thrice and then she will ask why you did it. So I was scared, sir. When she came to know, my brother was the first one to get it, the first one to get the beatings from her, and I was very happy that he was the one who instigated me to pick them up. But sir, after around 5 minutes, I saw my mother crying. I said, what kind of person she is? She's the one who is hitting and she's crying along with it. So that was the day I realized that for me, the parameter of right and wrong is if I can do something in front of my mother, if I can smoke in front of her, that's right. I imagine my mother watching me. If I can tell you a lie in front of her, I'll do it. That's my parameter of right and wrong. Right, sir? So I believe that parameter of right and wrong is also something which they have to define for themselves, ma'am. This is what I would like to add what JP sir has said. The rest, as I said, ma'am, he has put it beautifully. Yeah. And no better words can describe the way he has done it, ma'am.
Absolutely.
No, it's not that. What you have said is very big. Very big. If you can lie in front of your mother, you can lie in front of anyone.
Exactly. And so I just have to tell my viewers, on our channel, we are most of the time talking about heavy duty topics and facts and all that. But आज जो आप लोगों को बात किया है ना, it's a light banter. But if you listen very carefully, you'll see some gems have been shared over here. What I want is, I want them both to come back. And हमारी heavy duty जो talks होती है ना, उसके बीच में ये भी जरूरी है. And these are extraordinary people coming from our day-to-day life. Nobody, no great persons, but yes, they are common Indian people and common Indian boys. We always welcome them. Namaskar. Thank you very much for coming. And Shubh Ratri.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
ma'am.